Welcome to the SMB Community Podcast with hosts Amy Babinchek, James Kernan, and Karl Polachek. Produced by Kernan Consulting and for the international MSP community. We are dedicated to making every IT professional a successful IT professional. This podcast is sponsored by the Kernan Consulting's Millionaire Mastermind Roadshow. Get the answers you need to grow your business, guaranteed. More information in the show notes.
So I was lucky to catch up with ASCII in Hawaii, but afterwards I said, hey, I want to catch up with Jerry and find out how the year went. And here is that interview. I am catching up once again with my good friend, Jerry Koutavas from ASCII. Welcome, sir, and welcome to the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024.
I know. What a year, Karl. It's amazing. I'm so happy to be here, and it's wonderful talking to you.
So I believe this is going to air January 2024. So, well, we'll touch a bit on 2023. I want to mostly focus on the year ahead. So you should start by saying who you are and who ASCII is, because believe it or not, there are people who don't know.
So ASCII is a wonderful organization of seasoned IT pros. The company is going to be hitting its 40th anniversary, which is no small feat for our industry. And what's interesting about ASCII is that it's a collection of varied MSPs of all different sizes. So we have companies that are just starting out to companies that have been in the industry for a long time that are doing well over $20 million in revenue. But regardless of size, everybody has the same problems they're dealing with. And ASCII is there to try to smooth out the rough edges and try to move their company forward. And so we're a really good asset to, or ally, I should say, for MSPs, just making sure that they're going down the right path and being truly connected with their peers. So it's just a wonderful association.
So I think the visible side of ASCII is that you put on a bunch of events. What do you do, 10 a year?
Yeah, we do. This year we did 10. We ended the event in Hawaii, and we'll talk about that later. But typically we do 9 events. And from an optics perspective, you're right, Karl. A lot of people look at ASCII and go, oh, yeah, they're an event company. And that's like the smallest piece of the puzzle in terms of what we provide. The events are just an opportunity for us to actually talk to our customers, our partners in a sense, and essentially listen to them on what their experience is in the industry, where they're struggling. And so we can go back to headquarters and figure out any new service that we can provide to help them move their business forward. But the events are simply just a small piece of what we do. The company has over 70 different benefits, ranging from support for marketing, tax support, I mean, a variety of other things too, legal. But the thrust of it, the core of it is just, if I need to get something done, who's the person I can get connected with? Who can help me resolve an issue? If I have an opportunity that's out of state, who is a trusted partner that I can get connected to? So we are a really cool catalyst to make all that happen. And it's a tool that MSPs leverage. And sometimes they do stuff without our knowledge. And it's amazing to hear the stories of success of them leveraging the network. So it's I'll leave it there.
Well, I would say the non-visible part is that you've got this huge community that talks to each other. So you sort of led into that, but this community, they're on forums every day. Some of them have literally saved every email on that forum for whatever since day one, and they tell me if they have a problem, they go search this folder, which now must be larger than everything I have on Exchange, right? But they search this folder because they know somebody had that problem a year ago or 8 months ago or whatever. And if nothing else, they know which member to talk to about it.
It's pretty cool. I mean, if you think about it, because I know community is such a buzzword right now, and I think a lot of people misuse the word, unfortunately. And but a real community is basically a trusted network when it comes down to it. And for us, at least, it's amazing to me, and I know you know this too as well. It's amazing to me the amount of knowledge that some of these people have, and the chops, the technical chops. And I'm technically dangerous, and I admit that, but some of the stuff that these people are talking about at the chip level or otherwise, it is just amazing how granular and deep these people have gone to resolve issues. So we have not come across anyone that has stumped the network, bottom line. And sometimes I go, okay, we're not going to be able to find an answer for this. And lo and behold, someone comes up with an answer. So it's great. It's great that people are participating. And that's all part of what we're trying to do, is that allow people to learn from each other and better themselves.
And there have been other quote unquote buying groups over the years. But one of the things that ASCII does that I don't think anybody else does, or at least does effectively, is to intervene with vendors on behalf of members. Every once in a while, a member will say, "Oh, I'm trying to get these guys to do this and that, and I know they did it with this other guy because I saw it on the forum." Right? But that they won't do it for me. And you guys literally step in and say, "Hey, give the guy a hand." And vendors respond to that. So how did you build that capability? Because that's not an easy thing for anybody to do.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because it's what's great about I guess we don't have like guardrails, so we just don't say, okay, we're only going to do this for the community, and that's where we stop. And so, unfortunately, our industry is not perfect, like every industry, and so issues arise. And the first time we actually looked at this, we had a group of people that were working with a software vendor for accounting. And I'll try to kind of like make this super short because I know that I can go on. But ultimately, super interesting that this problem came up. And then all of a sudden, like five, now 12, back then it was bars, had the same issue. Well, we found out that this company was selling software that was broke. Imagine that. And essentially, to get the fix, they were forcing the people to upgrade and pay more money. It
Right.
was really outrageous. And these people were trying to get their money back. They were going nowhere. We stepped in and literally had a lunch with the CEO, and we kind of like laid it out. And they started cutting checks. It was amazing. And at that point, we're like, you know what? Maybe we should do this. If someone has a problem, let's leverage the group overall and the power of many, and see what we can do. So yeah, I mean, the power numbers in terms of a quick example. This is the purest form of why it's important and how you can get stuff done when you have somebody has your back. So yeah, it was very interesting.
Well, and it's also good to have vendors who understand they're working with the community, not individual, little endpoints, faceless, nameless endpoints somewhere in the universe. And I need, an extra 100,000 to make my quota this year. Right. So,
No, you're right. And it's I don't think that people, I know you understand it completely. I understand it, but I think some of these vendors don't understand really like what is at stake for these MSPs in running a business. You know, I just don't think they truly understand all of the little pieces to make the customers happy, but the management side. And so stuff like that, when you get stuck and you can't get something refunded, or there's a billing issue or what have you, this just bogs the MSP down. So it's just unfortunate, but we can help where we can. And it's I'm glad that or at least our people are reaching out to us to help resolve any issues.
all right. So, final bit of 2023. You do 9 events, but this year you put on an extra Navigate event in Hawaii. I have to thank you because I always like it when somebody goes to a place that doesn't get any visitors. And it seems odd to say Hawaii doesn't get any visitors, but companies don't go there. Microsoft doesn't put on events there. Intel doesn't put on events. Like nobody goes there. But ASCII went there, and you had a really good turnout. So tell me why you did Hawaii, except to give your staff a vacation.
Right. Well, it's so funny. One of our longtime members mentioned to Alan, the founder, like, ASCII should do an event in Hawaii. And we there's always like these wild ideas that get thrown around. And as the person that's got to look at this and say, okay, what's the lift involved? Can we get the audience? Can we get the vendors? Is this doable? We've kind of like said, okay, let's just like put a pin in that and see, you know, we'll talk about it later, what have you. But after we started talking more and more about it, I'll kind of give you a little inside baseball. It's funny. I reached out to the vendors and said, Jerry, look, we'd love to go to Hawaii. And we brought it up to our corporate staff, but they will not let us go. But if you say we're having an event in Hawaii and then, it does help out having a third party do this. So it took a little bit of time to pull it off, but we did. And I was really thankful that I think that given sort of the database we had, there was roughly about 35 to 40 MSPs kind of in the islands, and that may be even on the high side. Um, but we got roughly about 20 to attend, and I thought it was wonderful. And obviously their experience in meeting their peers for the first time was really something to see. I know you saw it too. It was just a really
Yeah.
good thing. It was a great vibe. It was just amazing.
Yeah, just super good energy. And, it is nice to do something for the first time. A lot of those folks had, they have to fly to the States, right? Which adds an
Yeah.
extra, whatever, $500 to their trip, right? So, but you say about 2025 locals, but you also got a bunch of people from the mainland to fly all the
Absolutely.
way to Hawaii. That was also impressive.
Yeah, and it's so funny. So overall, I think that we had probably about 50 total registered, and that doesn't count the vendors. And we set the expectations with the vendors. We knew this would be a smaller event given the market size, but it was nice that we got people from the States to say, listen, I want to come over there and celebrate with you guys and see what's going on in this market. And I know this is kind of a complete aside, but I think this will be kind of interesting for everyone listening, is that I sat down with an MSP there and I said, listen, how can you guys even work here? The vibe is so like great when you're trying to sell cybersecurity services. Is it more lax here? Like people even care less about that, and there's more of an issue trying to sell it. And the MSP I was talking to goes, well, Jerry, look, it's very interesting here is that when you try to have a business conversation with somebody that you don't know, they ask you, what high school did you go to? It's that kind of way. It's like the
Right.
locals work with locals. They're trying to work with people that they know or know somebody, and they're trying to figure out a connection. They struggle just like MSP struggle in the States with security selling, but it's no less or more uh, in terms of attitude, in terms of getting properly protected. But it was interesting to hear that in terms of how they look at business.
That's a good reminder that all business is local, right? All politics is local, all business
Right,
is
right.
local. So let's talk about the other 9 events. So 2024, you're doing it again, right? Rinse,
Yeah.
repeat. Tell us, first of all, what is the website and how do people get connected to ASCII?
Yeah, so we just looked this up. So events.ascii.com. We're doing 9 events. We're hitting 8 US markets and 1 in Toronto. The Toronto event is off the hook. I mean, it's probably the premier event for that particular market, but not discounting what we're doing in the States. We're hitting like Orange County area, Houston, New Jersey, New York, Denver, Chicago, Boston, Toronto, St. Louis, and then we're ending up with the ASCII Cup in Tampa late October.
Wow. I hope you're going to Toronto when it's not snowing.
Yes,
That's all
correct.
I ask. That's all I ask. So what is an ASCII event? Give folks a sense, like what can they expect? It's more than a day, right? It's a major event.
Yeah, it's a day and a half, and it's good to try to break away from the business and really see what is going on in the market because we're showcasing solutions that we feel are fit for our community as well as the guests that are coming to attend the event. But we're also highlighting MSPs talking about a best practice that they want to share with the audience. So it's pretty interesting. So we have a gentleman talking about some ops stuff. We have Dave Cav and Sean Walsh. They're working with Mike McAllowitz of the Pumpkin Plan. They actually formed something of a pumpkin plan specifically for MSPs. So they're going to be talking about their journey and sort of the best practices that they put into uh, their presentation and book. And then we have another MSP talking about automation and how she automated a lot of her ops side. So it's varied. So it's not all security, even though we have a lot of security vendors. it's a mix of everything from marketing onward. So it's a good mix, and we try to make it fun. So I know that, if you're going to come away to an event away from your office, we want to make sure that you're taken care of. So we don't go cheap. Things are well done, and we make sure everyone's really having an enjoyable time.
And it's open to non-members, but talk a minute about your membership, which is not expensive at all.
Yeah, I mean, membership for us, and the way we look at it is it's flat. So you can join, and you can have every member, every employee of your organization leverage a piece of ASCII. So it's pretty wild. We got people, with accounts that are on the marketing side, on the tech side, on the ops side, and as well as the owner, obviously. But for $1,000 and some change, and that's if you join annually. We have other levels even at a monthly basis that are a lot less expensive, but still, like you said, in the grand scheme of things, what you're getting out of it is I don't know what kind of X you want to put against it, 10X, 50X, whatever. You're getting a ton of value, and so yeah, it's just a great organization, and we're Alan always says that we don't live in a castle, and we have to be on the ground with the people, understanding what they're feeling and their pain points, and we still do that. So our job here is never done.
Right. Very good. And then with luck, see you somewhere along the road in 2024.
Well, wonderful, Carl. I really appreciate the time talking to you, and I know you have a wonderful organization as well. So we're all in this together, and it's a small industry. So I do appreciate the time.